Param Shanti to all divine souls and salutation to our beloved Bapuji and Brahma Ma. Welcome you all to Bapuji Darshat Bhai Patel YouTube channel. This is the English translation of Bapuji's Hindi video discourse सूर्य किसने बनाया, परम अग्नि का सबसे बड़ा रहस्य, सूर्य नारायण and param agni truth. Premiered on YouTube Jan 26, 2026. Param Shanti, Supreme Peace. Today we will talk about the sun deity, Surya Narayan, who created it, why it was created, when it was created, and how it has been burning from Param Agni, the supreme fire, for so many years. Since Surya Narayan is a created deity, it must have been created by Narayan. Just like in our Brahmand, the solar system, there are the three Murti, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Creation is by Brahma, sustenance by Vishnu and destruction by Shankar. Narayan is the combined form of Lakshmi Narayan, that is Vishnu. So Narayan Dev created the sun by taking a cell from his own soul, a portion of the Param Agni, the supreme fire. He extracted a cell, a fragment of the Param Agni or supreme fire, and placed it, and from that fragment the fire element began to emerge. It is still emerging even now. So how many years ago was this? When Brahma completed 10 years of creation, meaning 1 year of Brahma equals 31 trillion 10 billion 40 crore human years. So within those 10 years, Brahma first created 7 Param Purush or supreme beings. Those 7 supreme beings created 7 realms, and gradually all those supreme beings became devatas or deities and then began becoming humans. As their power started decreasing, they became humans. As deities turned into humans, they began to fall. So Brahma created earth for this purpose. All the deities gradually descended onto earth and became humans. At that time, there was complete darkness on earth, so light was needed. Then Lord Vishnu, to bring light to earth, placed a portion of the supreme fire element from his own soul, a cell, and made a sankalp or resolve that from it the fire element should be created and illuminate the earth. Let light spread across the earth. So how many years ago was this? Today 40 years of Brahma have passed. 1 prat, that is half of Brahma's lifespan, has been completed. Brahma has completed 50 years and now Brahma's second prat is ongoing. Today Brahma has completed 50 years. One cycle has finished and now the second cycle is ongoing. In this second phase, it is the first day of Brahma in the 7th Manvantar and 28th cycle. And currently Kali Yuga is running. So this was around 40 years of Brahma ago. Calculate how many years that would be. 1 year of Brahma equals 31 trillion 10 billion 40 crore human years. Multiply that by 40 and it comes to unimaginable trillions of years ago. At that time, the sun was created by Lord Narayan from a single cell of his supreme fire. Since then, Surya Narayan has been burning from that cell of the supreme fire. Gradually, from the supreme fire, it spread light through the Agni Tattva or the fire element. Creating the fire element, it began spreading light across the earth. At that time, there were no other planets. There were no 9 planets, only Earth existed. The sun used to move around the earth, spreading light in all directions as described in scriptures. Sun Narayan had a chariot with 7 horses and used to revolve around the earth. So billions of years ago, it provided light only for Earth. There were no other planets at that time. The 9 planets did not exist. There were no planets at all. Thus, billions of years ago, Surya Narayan began emitting fire from the supreme fire. Then gradually, the deities on earth who were once supreme beings started to become human beings. From supreme beings, they became deities, and from deities, they started to become humans. Then from the param tattvas or the supreme elements, supreme air, supreme fire and supreme space, gradually 3 elements came into being: fire, air and space. And slowly, as the fire element formed, the space element formed and the gross fire element also formed. Then that which earlier was still of the nature of fire, supreme fire began to change. Earlier, only a little subtle light was emerging from the supreme fire. But as the gross elements formed, the supreme light gradually transformed into gross fire. The power of the sun deity is of supreme fire, and gradually gross light began to emerge. This gross light, through its gravity, influenced the atmosphere. This includes air, space, and fire. When the air element was created, the fire element began pulling air from space. Fire started burning the air and generating more fire. The form of fire changed from subtle supreme fire to gross fire gradually. And that fire, by burning the air, began generating more fire from it. And the nature of the fire itself began to change. Earlier, it was in the form of supreme fire. Gradually, it kept changing little by little and it became gross fire. Then that gross fire began pulling in air, and from the air it began burning the air itself, converting it into fire. So gradually all of this in the first parad, the first half cycle of the solar system, when in that first parad they gradually began creating other planets. Then, to provide light to those other planets as well, the sun began to move slightly away from the earth. Because if the heat increased too much on earth, human beings would not be able to survive. Earlier, it was in the form of supreme fire. Then gradually, the fire kept increasing through its own process. That is why Surya Narayan gradually moved further away from the earth, so that everything on earth would not burn. Therefore, it kept moving further away. The distance of Surya Narayan was set according to how much fire was required on earth. So that humans on earth would not burn, the distance of the sun was adjusted accordingly. Gradually, Surya Narayan kept moving further and further away from the earth and more planets began to form. So, due to the gravitational force of the sun's fire element, gradually all the planets began to form. In the first parad, there were many planets. Now there are only 9 planets. Because there used to be assemblies of asur or demonic beings and forces. In those times, entire planets would be destroyed. Complete planetary distractions would occur. Over trillions of years, many planets were formed, many satellites were also formed, and many were destroyed. What exists today as the 9 planets is very insignificant in comparison. So the history and geography of trillions of years that I have seen through divine vision. When I observed the history of Surya Narayan, the planets and the satellites over trillions of years, then it is seen that from supreme fire came fire, and from fire it became more intense fire and becoming gross fire. It began to burn even the air. This is what is described as hydrogen burning. Scientists also say that hydrogen burns. When hydrogen burns, H2 gets converted into H3. It becomes helium. Hydrogen burns and helium also burns. So when this air element comes into contact with fire, the fire becomes very intense and powerful. Because within the fire, even a fraction of the supreme fire is present. Then that external fire pulls the air element from across space, burns the air and converts it into the fire element, turning it into fire. Thus the sun gradually kept growing bigger and bigger. And then, due to the gravitational force of its fire element, all matter gathered around it and gradually began revolving around it. Due to gravity, however, many times several planets would get pulled inward by its gravity and fall into the sun, where they would burn. So they could not withstand its gravitational force. If a planet moved far away, very far away, it would survive. But among those planets, some like Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus moved far away. Earlier, they were closer. But as the sun's gravitational force increased and its fire intensified, the gravitational pull of the fire also increased. As the gravity of the fire increased, these planets began moving farther and farther away to survive, to protect themselves from the fire element. So gradually in our solar system, over trillions of years, the sun's processes began changing at different times. And the black spots that are seen on the sun, what are they? Black spots are also visible on the sun. So it is not that there is fire everywhere inside the sun. In many places, the fire elements does not reach. So those areas remain as black spots. There is no fire there. It is vacuum. So it is a vacuum, then nothing exists there. So when fire is burning all around and there is a vacuum in between where there is no fire, that appears as a black spot. So these black spots seen on the sun are referred to in the scriptures as Surya Kalank, the blemishes of the sun. At times, deities from other planets would travel to and from the sun. Just as Surya Narayan has an entire dynasty or lineage, his children and their children and generations of descendants, even today, that entire lineage exists within Surya Narayan. His children used to come and go to earth. For example, Karna is the son of Surya Narayan. There are many such examples. The daughter of the sun is Yamuna and Yamuna Dev as well. All of these are considered his sons and daughters. They would come to earth or exist in other subtle realms. They would reside in Indralok and also in Swarg, the heavenly realms. Above Bhulok are Bhuvarlok and Swarglok. The entire picture of the solar system keeps changing gradually and it doesn't remain the same. The structure that existed in the beginning of the Brahman, the solar system, gradually changed. And over trillions of years, it continues to keep changing. Everything continues to change. Therefore, the state of Surya Narayan also changes. The effect of its fire, the fire element, also changes. Different forms and intensities of fire continue to change over time. Behad ki param mahashanti. Let infinite supreme peace prevail. Param Shanti.
What is the ultimate truth of existence? Who unlocked the gateway to infinite knowledge? The mystery will be revealed in 2026. Param Shanti, the ultimate truth, a spiritual biography based on the life of Bapuji Dashrath Bhai Patel. Coming soon. Stay tuned.
Join us daily for our morning live meditation, 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m., Monday to Saturday.
Join us daily for live meditation, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. on YouTube Live. Subscribe now. Website www.paramshanti.org. Email us anant@paramshanti.org. Like, share, subscribe. Join today.
बेहद की परम शांति सो